Hello everybody, I'm Dan. Welcome to my Java tutorial series. Throughout my tutorials I will teach you Java using just Notepad and the command prompt. The order in which my tutorials are organized on both my website at javacjava.com and my YouTube playlist is designed to maximize learning by building on concepts from prior tutorials. This tutorial is about the equals method of the string class there. I'm going to open up my browser to my website, javacjava.com, click Begin, and scroll all the way down here to the string equals method. Here's the signature for the equals method there. Basically it takes an object type, right, parameter here, and returns back a Boolean value on whether or not it's equal. So, no, and basically this here is a little bit confusing, but basically think of it right now as like a string is a class, and all classes actually inherit from the object class. The object class is like the granddaddy of them all, and as a matter of fact, inside of the object class there is an equals method. So essentially we're overriding, well, Java, not we, but Java has overridden the equals method inside of the string class. So however, so anyway, the equals method compares the string value of the current instance to the string value of the instance that the reference variable parameter refers to. It is very easy to confuse the functionality of the double equal equality operator and the dot equals method. The double equal equality operator compares if two reference variables are pointing to the same object in heap memory. Watch my string class part 3 tutorial for further clarification on the double equals functionality. So for example, I've got string A1 equals apples, string A2 equals new string apples, right? Now in my class part 3 tutorial there, you will learn that this particular one here with string literal, the class, the new object or new instance that contains the value of apples is actually placed in the string literal pool. When we instruct specifically to create a new reference using the new keyword, it actually puts it into the regular good old heap memory. Okay, so then we'll display to the console A1.equals A2, right? And that'll be true because equals is just basically comparing the values of the actual instances. In other words, like apples to apples, right? So that'll be true. If we do something like A1 double equals A2, it's saying, okay, is this reference variable A1 pointing to the exact same object in on the memory as A2? And the answer is no. These are being created. There's two separate copies of apples, right? So equals returns, yeah, that they're the same. They're both holding apples. However, double equals says no, they're not. The reference variables are not pointing to the same objects. That's the primary difference between that. Okay. Let's come down here and highlight the source code. Control-C to copy, or right-click and select copy. Let's go ahead and move the browser off screen here. I've got a shortcut to the command prompt on my desktop, but if you don't, you can right-click and select New Shortcut. Type in CMD next and finish. It's just that easy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open that up, type in Java-C, which is the Java compiler. You should see all this stuff scroll by. Now, if you get an error message, go ahead and watch my tutorial on installing the Java Development Kit. I want to make sure you get that installed and configured properly before continuing. Then CD space backslash. CD is short for change directory, and backslash tells it to go to the root. Then I'm going to make a directory called Java using the md command. I already have that folder, but if you don't, it'll create it for you. I'm change directories to the Java folder, and I'm going to make another folder here called string equals, and change directories to the string equals. I'm on a notepad file called string equals.java. All right, and that'll be the name of our source code file, also known as a compilation unit. Let's paste this in here, and this is very pretty simple here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and compile and run it here, and then I'll go through line by line. So let's clear our screen. C to compile, and Java to run the Java virtual machine, and we want to invoke the string equals class, right? And so right off the bat here, what we've got is just what I talked about up top here, right? We've got apples, and then for A1, right? So this will put apples into the string literal pool. This will put apples, an apples instance, into the ordinary heap memory, okay? And then I've actually got a little A3 here using the .intern command for extra credit, which I go over in part 3 of my string tutorials there. So What this does is says, okay, we're creating a new string in the heap memory, but wait, if we invoke the .intern method, what that does is it comes out and it says, do we have a matching string in the string literal pool, which is a portion, like a reserved portion inside of the heap memory there. It says if we do, then go ahead and just return back the reference to this particular reference variable here. So A1 and A3 actually will, using the double equals operator, the equality operator, will actually equal each other, whereas A2 and A1 will not, okay? So here I've got A1 dot equals A2, right? And that is just checking to see if, the value of A1 equals the value of A2, right? Apples equals apples. So that is returning back true. So that's the purpose of the whole entire equals operator there. Now let's take a look at using the equality operator. And when you're learning Java, a lot of this stuff is like somewhat confusing there because, of course, the equality operator functions completely different on primitive variables than it does in classes. So let's take a look at this here, right? On the second print line method here, basically, we're checking if A1 is equal to A2. And now they're not. That is equal to false, right? And that's because this apples is in the string literal pool. This apples instance is in the ordinary heap memory, right? So they're not actually referring to the same object. Reference variables are pointing to different object instances. Okay, and then the last thing I'll display down here is A3. Is A3 equal, or using the equality operator, to A1? And that is equal to true, and that's because we invoke this .intern method up here, which, just like I said, it forced it to go out and check the string literal pool and said, is there anything with a value of apples in there? If so, go ahead and take and assign that reference to that, right? Don't create a whole brand new one like this line here did. Okay, so that's basically how the equals method works and the difference between it and the double equals equality operator there. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, get rid of this, and leave you with some final thoughts here. So one strategy that I regularly use to solidify my knowledge of Java is to browse through the actual source code. Due to some language in their copyright file, I can't actually show the source code in my videos. Now, the source code is contained inside of a file called src.zip located in the folder where your JDK is installed. So my Java development kit is located here in my C drive, program files, Java, JDK 1.8.045. Now your folder name will probably be different depending on the version of Java that you downloaded and installed, which will obviously be later than the one I'm running right now. But anyway, this is the file you're looking for here, src.zip. So the string class, of course, is part of the java.lang package, right? And so when the java.lang package is automatically imported just from the get-go, it just contains so many core things for the Java language there. They just go ahead and you don't have to do like an import java.lang, so. But basically inside of the source zip file here, you'll find like the corresponding package is like a Java folder and then a lang folder, and then you'll see the string.class underneath there. And I recommend using Notepad++ to browse through those files there. It's just it's smarter than Notepad. You don't want to, and I don't use Notepad. I don't use Notepad++ in my tutorials because it's will kind of auto-correct some stuff for you, and you don't want that. But when browsing through these class files, it'll help out because it's got different colors and different highlighted stuff and everything like that. So, but very cool. But once again, this little copyright file up here says no, you cannot display those without their permission. So that is basically where that file is, and it's really good. Just open up that class file using Notepad++, search for the equals override there, and check out the source code and see how they actually do it under the hood. It's quite, you'll learn quite a bit. So that concludes this tutorial. Thanks for watching.